Digging My Worldly Grave. Now this poem started out on kibbutz, and I wasn't counting the syllables when I wrote it, but it was accepted. I fooled the formalists. It was accepted in a magazine for the new formalists. And I later wrote the editor a very funny letter saying, by the way, I wasn't counting my syllables. And they never published me again. There's a grave dug under brackish mist near a well of crumbling stone. The blue-headed hedgehopper in the wild berry bush pops a look and a song. Jaded by the weeks walking through the door to work and schlep and heave on the run, I hear the brown-bellied berry munchers say, there's a grave dug under brackish mist near a well of crumbling stone. The melancholy mouth-wrenching through the twilight corridor, the sigh that says, begin again, begin again. There is a grave dug, and it is possible to love, because I hear a deep stone well filling under a brackish mist, and the sweet thudding rain crumbling stone. This is called Vacation for Yehuda Amichai, and it was written in my good friend David Cohen, friends for life, 30 years, good friends. I wrote this in his garden. The semester was over. I hitchhiked from Tzfat, went straight to his house. He wasn't home. Sat in the garden, and the poem came to me. And then I stole a little bit from Yehuda Amichai. I shouldn't be admitting that, I know. But if you're going to steal from somebody, it has to be somebody really great. Honeysuckle and jasmine breezes in the Sharon Valley. Nectar of Gat, Yemenite cocoa leaf on the beach for relief. Medusa jellyfish burn across the azure sea. Away from the wife and kids, old hitchhiking hat and torn shorts. A vacation to tear loose the poetry in paradise. Bomb thoughts say, don't let me die without one more falafel in the belly. One hot pepper to screw up the colon. Everyone on the July highways, my friend. I long for Walt's Modern Library Edition, illustrated in Tel Aviv now. Bustling road haze, tar smoke, bra straps revealing milk under Sabra brown. Somehow, there's hope for peace in this garden-grown wild world. The poet Ada Aharoni, I met first in Voices Israel in 1981, or 1981, and that was where I first published my first poem. And I remember Ada as being the poet for peace. And I was very impressionable, and I never forgot that as part of being part of my basic unconscious intent was to be not counted as a poet for war, but to be counted as a poet for peace. But it's very difficult to write any kind of political poetry because of the delicate balance of rhetoric and imagery that's required. It's very hard to write a political poem. So I'm going to read something, let's see. Safat notebooks. Shopping for pine nuts for pesto. The shop owner says, don't get too crazy with all that repentance. Stay normal. In red shoes and checkered shirt, white slacks, and 50+ lipstick. She answers the question, what's normal? I tell you. How am I doing for time?
Almost.
Okay, a little bit?
One.
Two more? Two little ones.
Two little.
This was in special edition. I think, Jerry, you edited this on the environmental.
No, that was Mark.
But that was Mark. This is the toxic Israel bop. Kishon, a stink palm. Yarkon, a killer. Zion buds, oily, on skin burner. Ideo, river murder. Jerry cans, toxic mouths. Torn rust teeth, oil urns. Filthy reeds, and mercury-eyed fish corpses. For so much bookworming, dying, for yearning to get here, for prayer-riddled centuries and martyred Moranos, to numbered Dachau forearms, and great poet Yehuda Halevi lanced at the wall. Forgotten the river, holy, so holy, now chemical piss dump, holy abstraction, mind, halakha, Kabbalah, move to Brooklyn if you're not in redemption mode. Recycle. Who cares? War could come. Shalom is one of God's names. War could come, and we'd be sorting bottles and cans and glass and paper. Shalom is one of God's names. Okay, I'll read. This is the last one. It's called The City Boy and the Mountain Woman. 1. Old Helen at 78 chopped her own firewood. The dogs, oh, they bite, and that's what they're for. Can you mend a barbed wire fence? You got gloves? Ever worked before? She bends to feed the dogs hotcakes. The Navajo boy, she says, lifted 50 bales of hay twice as fast. And when I'm driving that 48 Ford truck, she says, never met a man couldn't get it into gear. 2. Bear tracks by the river. She's picked berries with her kids and a mother bear on the next bush. I watch her strong hands feeding the cows, pigs, chickens. My cattle are my children, she says. Behind the counter at Helen's General Store, I own everything from here to Vice Cedar Lake. Old Helen's children plan to sell. The daughters married to lawyers. Liars, really, them idiots. And no, you can't take my photograph. Helen's false teeth shifting back in her mouth and bouncing in her fidget. Still, I think men back when would die for her. 3, the city boy. An immigrant to Colorado, I'm from the East Side Jewish humor charm of pickle barrels. On the street back home, old Helen, I learned these hands to speak. Pitchfork and left jab, rabbit punch, mugger, kingpin, cheap trick, shyster, double time and hard work and dockhand, steel metal monkey, strong arm warehouse boy, 16-year-old streetwise. Subway trains in New York City, 100 floors, glass buildings, stickball hoop, two-hand touch, roller hockey, cool autumns in the vacant lot, milkweed near sand dunes, inside huge sewer urns, where firecrackers were known to boom and resound across the canals. Old Helen, I know blue claw crabs on barnacled black deadwood dock poles. Being Jewish, we never could eat them, so we sold our quarry, treif, to the Goyim. Watch the starfish, turned over horseshoe crabs, digging for clams, minnows and wooden traps, flounders from boats, dogfish, mudfish, sand sharks, gasoline, murkiness on the bay, rainbow myriad of colored waters, slick, ugly smelling petrol, putt-putt engines, yachts, speedboats, a bike ride home, my cheeks burning from the cold. Now I have queer desire to be in the mountains, give up Wall Street pursuits for my puny song. Wise old Helen, am grateful for the 3 days' food and the bed in the trailer out back with the Indian blanket and the 20 bones which helped me write this poem.
It's already worth your coming out, isn't it? There are a number of things I forgot to tell you, some of which I remember now. First of all, there's a poetry reading